friends! Welcome to my day vlog, a cozy summertime trip. Since German train company, or also known as Deutsche Bahn, introduced an amazing ticket deal for the months of June, July and August 2022, where for a flat rate of €9 you get an unlimited travel service on all means of local and regional public transport during the selected month throughout the whole Germany, I thought, wow, I have to use this amazing opportunity and visit as many cities as I can during this summer. So my friends, I jumped in the train and my first choice was, of course, Munich. This is the magnificent residence where we are going to go later. After the stunning Palace of Justice, very close to the central train station, I went to check out the huge beautiful Frauenkirche, or Cathedral of Our Dear Lady. It was very peaceful inside, since I was almost the only one there. The next place I went during my day trip to Munich was of course Marienplatz. But at 8 o'clock in the morning, when I arrived here, since I'm a very early rising person, it looked so empty and boring, I decided to come back again later, when it hopefully looks more alive on this Sunday afternoon. But then, I started to smell in the air fresh bakery aroma. The smell of fresh brewed coffee and the pastries. I followed the smell and the noise and ended up in this beautiful German bakery called Richard. Friends, even though I live in Germany for already a few years, I rarely go to the bakery because I prefer to bake my bread on my own. I was amazed by the choice of pastries, breads and desserts. If you didn't know, bread, or Brot in German, is a significant part of German cuisine, with the largest bread diversity in the world, around 300 kinds of breads and 1,200 different kinds of pastries and rolls. And of course, the king or queen of German traditional food, soft, salty and delicious pretzel. And the best part of visiting this bakery was when I saw them delivering freshly made pretzel for the day. There were so many pretzel and they looked all so tasty and perfect with their brownish golden color and unique form. Just behind Marienplatz, the stunning St. Peter's Church is located. The church was heavily damaged in the Second World War during bombing of Munich, when around 90% of the old town was severely destroyed. I liked St. Peter's Church much more than the Cathedral of Our Dear Lady from before, especially the nearly 300-year-old Baroque altar, as well as the paintings. But now, my friends, the fun part of this cozy day vlog is starting. We're having a coffee break! I took a train because my choice of the coffee shop was a bit away from the center, and the cafe where we were going to is called Café Lotti. If you watched my other vlogs, you know how much I love going to nice cute cafes with good brewed tasty coffee. It's honestly my favorite part of the day. I found this pinkish flowery aesthetically looking coffee shop on Instagram, and Instagram is actually a place where I discover almost all the coffee shops that I visit while traveling. And Café Lotti is even suggested in the coffee guide. I just adore the decoration and the atmosphere here. I was actually lucky to get a seat inside, because almost all the tables were reserved for Sunday. ordered my favorite cappuccino, as usual, and chocolate gluten-free cake. It tasted so good. By the way, I almost always try to find some gluten-free dessert option. Not because I'm allergic to gluten, but really just because I digest gluten-free pastry much better. It doesn't make me feel tired or gives me drop of energy. That's also why I prefer to bake my gluten-free bread at home and use some healthier sugar options. Okay, enough of chit-chat. Let's move on. This huge square is called Königsplatz. And although I actually always prefer smaller squares than the bigger ones, because smaller squares somehow always feel more private and cozier, this big square I really liked a lot, since it was inspired by Acropolis in Athens. A piece of the ancient world just in the heart of Munich, my friends. And of course, the modern side of Munich, like this old parked tram turned into a hipster bar, or this great modern architecture design of the Brandhorst Museum. Or this amazing staircase going into nowhere, hidden in the courtyard of an office building, which is obviously not really a staircase, but a design of a Danish artist, Olafur Eliasson. Very close to the museum, Victory Gate, or in German, Siegestor, is located. I was so lucky that they closed the street because of a marathon, so I was able to film this scene from the main road and experience the Victory Gate from this perspective without cars, which is usually impossible. Such a lucky day for filming. Now, after so many buildings and streets and shops and cars, the summer heat started to feel a bit too unbearable, so it was just the right time for me to change my environment. I went to check out the Munich's most beautiful and famous park, called the English Garden. To be honest, I didn't know much what to expect from a big park in the middle of the huge town like Munich. I've never been in English Garden before, so when I arrived, I was very surprised by the amount of people sunbathing and enjoying the summer Sunday afternoon here. Very close to the entrance to the garden, I heard a live traditional German music coming from the beer garden near the Chinese Tower. The atmosphere was really nice and relaxing. It felt like some beer festival, although it was just a regular weekend day. Okay, to share with you something interesting about Germans. Statistically speaking, every German drinks around 95 liters of beer in 1 year. There are around 5,000 different types of beer, and they are produced in around 1,300 breweries all around Germany, but more than half of breweries are located in the southern Germany, state of Bavaria, where we are now, my friends. Whoa, I would say. The German beer diversity is really unique in the world. As you probably noticed till now, I don't drink alcohol. I used to drink it before, especially during my student days. But as I was getting older, I started to realize that I don't feel good anymore while drinking. So one day, I just decided to stop. At the beginning, there was a bit of social pressure, because people, especially in Europe, don't understand how can someone not drink alcohol and still have fun, But even in Europe nowadays, the things are changing and moving in a good direction. And every day I meet more and more people, especially young ones, who just don't want to drink alcohol and are trying to lead healthier lifestyle. And I think that is awesome and great. In my case, I got so much used to not drinking that I really don't miss it at all. And I can still enjoy every party and every event, even without beer or wine. What I learned is that it is very important to listen to our bodies and do what is good for us and not what the society expects from us. And of course, surrounding ourselves with good friends and supportive people is making every life transition or change much easier. Okay, back to the present moment, to our English garden. As I said, I totally didn't expect so many people here. It almost looked like at a seaside. I was really unprepared for this. I had no idea that people come here for sunbathing and swimming. Please write down in the comments, do you have a park like this in your town that gets so full and active during summer days? I think Munich is really lucky to have a park like this one. After being surrounded with so many people, you know me, I needed time to get away from the crowd to recharge my batteries again. So I went to another close by park, much smaller and less visited than the English garden, just to enjoy a few moments on my own while reading a good book. Someone is getting married there. Okay friends, time to move on. We have a few more magical places to visit here in Munich. This is the Odeonplatz, a large square in central Munich, which was developed in the early 19th century. I really liked a lot these lion sculptures. Now, the highlight of our visit to Munich is coming. We're going to visit together the City Palace, or residence in German. Between 1508 and 1918, Bavaria's rulers like dukes, electors and kings were deciding about the fate of their country and people from exactly this place, residence. I liked this first room so much because of all the beautiful portraits hanging on the walls. It reminded me a bit on a portrait gallery in London. I was very lucky that there were very little tourists inside the museum, so I could peacefully dive in deeper into the beauty of all the halls and rooms of the residence. This room almost felt unreal how stunning it looked. I'm always impressed by what is humanity able to achieve when we use and invest our energy and knowledge into good and positive things. Where would our world be if people would just try to build more peaceful and harmonious society instead of fearing of each other? All the rooms in the palace were stunning and carefully decorated. Each room had a special purpose for the royals, depending if it was a working room, a sleeping room, a drawing room, an audience room, or dining room. These deer horns reminded me of my father, because he used to go hunting and we always had at home good quality wild meat. I needed around 3 hours to visit the whole residence, but it was totally worth it. At the end of the day, I went, my friends, to where it all started early in the morning, to the main square, Marienplatz. In the afternoon, there were much more people, and it really looked more alive and vibrant than in the morning. I like a lot when there are flowers at the squares, like here at Marienplatz, where they really take care about the flowers a lot. Flowers make everything better. And of course, a good coffee. That's why I decided to finish my day with one nice cappuccino. To sum up my impressions, rest a bit from walking, and then go back to Nürnberg. It was really a very nice and long day. I hope, my friends, you enjoyed this cozy travel vlog in Munich, and I hope I was able to capture the daily atmosphere of this amazing Bavarian town. I'm planning to come back here soon again, because in one day it is not possible to visit everything. Thank you guys for coming along with me, for sharing this story together. Take care of each other, and see you in the next Munich vlog. Bye bye!